Hello and welcome to the next episode of The Empowered Life. Lisa Pezik, your host here. And in this episode, I want to talk about how you go that extra mile in business. Because we know that in order for people to do business with you, and I'm talking about entrepreneurs, business owners, doesn't matter whether it's product or service based, if you want people to know, like, and trust you, so that they're going to want to do business with you. They're going to want to be coached by you. They're going to want to buy your coaching programs. They're going to want to buy that product that you're offering them. They're going to want to take you up on a service you're providing to them because they know you, they like you, and they trust you. But there's ways to strategically do that don't cost money, that don't take up a lot of time, but it's like those extra finesse pieces that you see when you go to a high-end restaurant and they have Turndown Service. I can remember when I stayed at a Ritz-Carlton for a mastermind event that I was in with Brendan Burchard. Some of you know of him. He's a very famous high-performance personal development thought leader who teaches personal development, high-performance life coaching, business. He runs High Performance Academy, and I had the pleasure of being in his mastermind all of last year and learning from him. And he spares no expense at the places that we got to stay at. And I'd never stayed in a Ritz-Carlton before, ever. And I really was treated like royalty. It was incredible. Every night when I got back from the event, there was turn-down service. There were flowers on the bed. There were chocolates on the bed. There were bath salts laid out in the bathroom. The fireplace was on. The alarm clock had soft, beautiful classical music playing. And it was just the most peaceful, serene environment to walk into. Not to mention they scrubbed and cleaned that place to a T. I mean, it was just absolutely stunning and beautiful. But it just went that extra mile. Or it's like when you tell a restaurant that it's an anniversary or a birthday, and they bring you that extra piece of cake, or they comp something, or they bring you a glass of wine, or whatever it is that you go to where they comp it or they throw it in. It makes you remember them. It makes you remember the experience. I can remember staying at the Ritz, and I can remember the smells and the sights and just the beautiful experience that I had when I was there, that if I can cough up the $400 a night, because holy moly, it was not cheap to stay there, probably wouldn't have been my first choice to stay purely because the Canadian conversion rate killed me. But if I could ever cough up the money to stay there again, I would definitely stay at a Ritz because the experience was amazing. And really, if you think about that, besides the flowers and the chocolates that they have, what did it cost that maid to drop in those bath salts, turn on the music, put on the fireplace, make the bed, like pull down the bed sheets? It really was just effort. And I think we underestimate how much a little bit extra effort goes. I mean, if you're truly starting out as a business, if you can think about the way that you make connections with people. So I know in the network marketing side of my business with Beachbody, it's a very minimal part of my brand, but I teach a lot of coaches. I have a lot of coaches on my team with me, and that is their full-time gig. That is their full side hustle. So the money that they make sometimes does pay the bills for them. It is really meaningful, and it does matter. So I really want to teach them how to do these extras that sets them apart from all the other health and fitness coaches that are out there. And we teach them in network marketing to expand their network, to talk to people. And whether you're in network marketing or you're just a business, I don't say just a business owner, but you are a business owner, you got to network. You got to get out there. And friending people on Facebook isn't enough. Asking people to be your friend, reaching out, it's not enough. You got to go that step further. When you reach out and someone accepts your friend request, or you get into a group, introduce yourself. Take the time to tell people how you can serve them if you get into a business like-minded boss babe, fempreneur, intentional businesswoman, mindset guru businesswoman kind of place, introduce yourself about how you can serve others. And then if you get a friend request from someone or you friend request someone, send them a video that introduces you and what you're all about. And again, how you can help people, and just say hello. Make that extra effort to make a connection with that person. A lot of times too, I see people sharing videos. I see them sharing, the famous goal cast videos or motivational quotes or statuses on, social media of other people. And that's amazing. But people want to know you. Remember, know, like, and trust you. So before you go and share someone's status, someone's post, a goal cast video, a personal development video, something from YouTube, a viral video, heck, it could be a video of a dog doing tricks, I want you to write a 1 or 2 liner about what that meant to you and why that was so important. I know that I have a lot of people that share my statuses and my posts and my videos, which is amazing. But when they share it and they don't write anything about it, I always wonder, like, what did they like about it? Like, my inquisitive mind wants to know more about them. So you got to share more about you and add those little touches of teaching in every single moment, because people pay for the how. They pay for the teaching. They pay for your methods. They pay for your steps. They pay for your thoughts and your perspective. That's what we do in masterminds. We pay to be in a group setting to get a ton of people's perspective. And that's what you need to share with people. And if we're talking free, we're talking social media, if you're in business, every post has to have a call to action with it. Because when you've developed that authority and credibility with people, they want to know where the next step is for them to go. And if you don't have a call to action saying, email me, click here, and take them to your landing page, if you don't have any of that built yet, maybe it's just taking them to a blog or taking them to a social channel. But deepen that relationship by telling them where you want them to go next. Deepen that learning. So it's not enough to just write a post on social media. You've got to take it that extra step further and put that call to action there. And for the cost of a postage stamp, I know that I said I'm going to give you free strategies, but one thing I did when I first started my coaching business, or if you've got an intimate group, say you've got a mastermind group or a group coaching and you've got maybe 10, 20, 30 people in it, maybe you have 5 people in it, maybe it's the first time you ever launched it and you got 2 people in it, which you should never discount a small audience. Send them a handwritten thank you. Send them a note. It'll cost you a postage stamp, to tell them how excited you are that they said yes and what you're going to teach them and where you're going to go with them, and you're excited to be next to them. It's like in this digital world, we've forgotten how to send some love in the mail to each other. I have a really good girlfriend who sends handwritten letters to her friends. She's still like old school. It's sad that I'm saying that's old school. But yeah, we email, yeah, we text, yeah, we get on the phone, yeah, we send birthday cards. But once a year, she sends me a handwritten letter. And I love that. I really appreciate that, because I think, wow, that took her probably at least a half hour to write that letter to me, a half hour out of her day just for me. And that deepens the relationship. I'm kind of a crappy friend and I never send a letter back. So that's something that's on my to-do list or my grow list this year, that I got to nurture those relationships and my friendships better. And writing a letter to my friend who writes it to me, who's in another country in the US, as I'm here in Canada, I think would be a great way to do it. I haven't gotten a letter from her in a bit, and maybe it's because I haven't sent her a letter ever back. So that's something that I want to get better at. And that's another piece of the finishing touches in your own life. What do you need to focus on this year to move your life forward? because the last 2 years for me have been a solid build year, like building my business, building my brand, building my courses, building my funnel, building my value ladder, that I have let some of my friendships go a bit. And I got to get better at nurturing those, because that's the deep stuff in life that you really enjoy and you really look forward to. So that's where I say it's my grow list. My grow list means I got to get better at this. And that's one thing for me. And I think that when I get better at that and I start putting those final touches and those finesses in my own life, that's gonna spill over into business, because the way you make people feel, that's your business card. Like, business cards, no offense, business cards are dead now. The way that you make people feel, the way you leave them, the way you speak to them, if you choose to write them a letter, send them a video, put a video in an email, just the more ways that you can touch people to deepen that relationship, the better your business is going to move along. And I love an online business. That's what I'm growing. That's what I stand by. That's what I teach others. But you do have to get out and touch people. You've got to get out to events. You've got to invest in group coaching and masterminds if you have the money. But if you don't, you've got to get to some local meetups where you're seeing people, you're touching people, you're shaking hands, you're sharing in a conversation, right? Don't be afraid to get out there, because the more people skills and conversation skills and networking skills that you can develop, the better you'll get in your business. The more persuasive and influential you'll get, because you'll start to understand people. Whenever I go to networking events or meetups or groups or any of those things, I really kind of study people. I study people's posture. I study people's, language. I study the way people pay attention to people. I study their nonverbals. And did you know that people only believe 50% of the words that you say to them? They only believe 50%. So you might be saying words, but if you're fidgety or you're looking away, the subconscious mind picks up on those subtleties of the change in your tone, the change in your words, the change in the way, your eye contact or your body language. And they're going to call BS on you. So you got to get out with people, and you got to come across more comfortable, more calm, more cool, more confident, more collected. And the only way that you do that is by getting in front of people, getting around people, making more live video. As we said, leaving people messages that shows the real you and has you talking about yourself. And you're able to give your elevator pitch about you and what you do and where you're from and why you're doing what you're doing and how you serve others. And it just comes out naturally. And that's what I want for you. I want you to stand out from the crowd. I want you to go that extra mile. I want you to be a little bit different. I want you to leave your mark on people, that they remember you the way I remember the Ritz-Carlton. I want you to do that. And I know you're capable of doing that. And all it takes is a little bit of extra love. And that goes a really, really long way. On your personal Facebook page or your business pages, make sure you've got call to actions on those posts. Make sure you're sharing stories about yourself. If you have a movement page or a VIP page, get in there and get deep with people. Share core frameworks and processes, and share your thoughts and your teachings and your methods and your reasons and your solutions. Make it meaningful and get in there and share. I go weekly live on my VIP and my students' pages, and I teach them something that I want them to focus on for the week. And that's what grows that relationship, that leads many of those people into buying core offer programs of mine, group coaching of mine, one-to-one coaching of mine, because they're getting so much value in a Facebook group because I'm showing up for them. I'm showing up with all of me. I'm showing up with my energy and my knowledge, and that's it. I'm choosing to be intentional about my posts and what I'm teaching and my connections and all of it. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to be intentional about what you're putting out, the way that you're putting it out there, how you're communicating, and what that end user experience is for your ideal client. What emotion do you want them to feel when they get in contact with you, whether it's the first time they meet you or they've been following you for 2 years? For me, it's that powerful, strong, empowerment, inspired kind of feeling. I want to break down simple strategies for people so they can go and take action right away and they can change their life right away. And empowered is that feeling that I want everyone to feel when they encounter me. So what is that emotion for you? Think about that, journal on that, go that extra mile, and show up the very best you can for those ideal clients and those people that know, like, and trust you. This is the latest episode of The Empowered Life. If you need more motivation and inspiration, please head to www.lisapezik.com. You'll find this podcast only there and on Apple, but you'll also on iTunes, but you'll also see blog posts there from me. So go ahead, read those blogs, check those out. I blog every week. So if you're digging my podcast, you're digging it on Apple, you're digging it from my website, go on there and read those blogs. Go on and get deeper connected to me, because I love to write, I love to speak, I love to serve you, I love to empower you. And I'll see you over there at www.lisapezik.com.